Hi there, welcome back. This week we're going to talk about some things that have just not quite gone to plan. And when you're living on the land, water is key. On the farm we have 3 tanks, one that feeds the house and then 2 other tanks that we put in that we can use for the gardens and other bits and pieces. And then we have 2 tanks that we can feed from the creek to feed the stock. And this week one of the pumps stopped working, so Robert will talk about that, and Robert will talk about some bull issues he had, and so a few things that just haven't gone quite to plan this week. And I got a little bit excited about my garden. It's spring. We are the 24th of October. I thought the frosts were gone. I got excited. I planted some corn. I even planted a couple of tomatoes. And we're forecast for a frost on Saturday. So I'm really disappointed because we've had a couple of frosts this year that have really hurt the garden, and especially the orchard. We had a frost, a -3 in September, that killed off a lot of the cherries. We've got a couple of cherries that survived, but we're certainly not going to get a cherry harvest like we've had, probably not last year, the year before. And our 3 fig trees were just coming into beautiful leaf, and the frost absolutely decimated all the leaves, and they're just starting to come back to life, and the frost is not going to do them. I can't cover all the trees. I'm going to try and cover my tomatoes and the corn, and we'll see how we go. But that has not gone to plan, and maybe a few other bits and pieces.
This is our relatively new pump on the creek that feeds our stock troughs. So it feeds up to a water tank up on a hill, and then gravity feeds to the stock troughs and the gardens. And yesterday I noticed that the foot valve, well, to begin with, it wasn't pumping quite the volume that I expected. And I went down and checked the foot valve, which is obviously in the creek, and I found that it was pretty much buried in mud and had growth growing all around it. So I pulled the foot valve off and took it up and gave it a good clean out and wash, and lubricated the non-return valve. So that's the float down there for the pump, which is up there. And that took about, I don't know, about half an hour. And then I couldn't get the darn thing primed or started. Well, the pump would go, but I just couldn't get it primed. It's a beautiful spot here on the creek, and after about 2-3 hours of frigging around undoing the foot valve and making sure the return valve was working properly, it ended up being the actual pipe that comes onto the pump, the washer in the spigot, was sucking air. So that little fitting there was sucking air, and it was just the washer in there. So after about 4 or 5 trips backwards and forwards to the shed, which is, by the time you work it out, I have no idea how many steps it was. I average about 18,000 steps a day, so it was somewhere, probably 5,000 steps just going backwards and forwards. I finally got the pump fixed. So this pump is only about 6 months old, because the last pump I had in here, it sheared the impeller off the shaft, and luckily it was only 9 months old, so I was able to get a return on warranty. And this one's been working really well since, until something doesn't go right, which you have to learn how to do things for yourself. Otherwise, imagine getting someone out to fix up a pump. It's a pain and be quite expensive. So anyway, that's was another problem this week. With having a bull now on the farm, they take every opportunity they can to damage things. I've found the cows aren't far behind them insofar as damaging things, but I've found that they rub on gates a lot and they put a lot of pressure on it, and I've found a bracket that'll go on a gate. It's actually meant for a star picket, and I've screwed the end insulator on, and I've put a hot wire across the the front of the gate and connected it up there with a couple of alligator clips that I made up to the electric hot wire. So hopefully that stops them from rubbing on the end strainer here and putting pressure on it and putting pressure on the gate. So that's 2 I've done. Every time he moves to a new paddock, I've either got to fix this up, otherwise he might just put his head under and lift it up. I'm down with the Belties, and Spells are lined up for a scratch with the brush. But she just loves, all of them were around me before, and they just love it. Tex is now liking me. He didn't like me very much last night. Hello, Panda. Hello, sweetie. Spells is going to give me a bump. She doesn't like it when I stop scratching her. She's got her head up against my leg. She just loves a pat. Don't you, darling? Eh? But I'll try and explain what happened last night. I learnt a good lesson last night. Don't move a bull in the night. She's impetuous for a good brush out. They get so matted. But Tex got out last night. I'll flip the camera around. Oh, hello. Yeah, hello. She's all over me. Yeah, how's that? Hey, we do your fro. You watch, she'll follow me now. Yeah, yeah, okay, I'll give you some more. I'll give you some more love. I always go on how quiet the Belties are in the paddock, and we had a situation last night where Tex got out of the creek area and got into the neighbour's paddock, and I came down and checked them right on dusk, and it was getting dark. By the time I got back to the house, I needed to put on a head torch to try and sort out Tex from the neighbour's place. Spells are up close and personal. Want more brushing. But Tex got out last night and into the neighbour's place. I have to come down and find my glasses now because they fell off my head. And he was in the creek area in the neighbour's place. Hello, Sindel. Hey, do you want a brush too, do you? Hey? Then spring rain, and Spells is down here banging on me. Yeah, you're following me around. I'll go next door and see if I can find my glasses. But this man here, he did not like me last night. He gave me a good old bump with his head. Didn't you, big boy? Hey? And he was not happy. But we successfully got him out of the neighbour's place, which was over there, and on that side of that fence line is about 100 acres, and on the left hand side of the fence line is about 180 acres, and in there there's about 30 cows and a bull, and so I couldn't have Tex mingling with Reese's bull because they would just fight. So I thought I'd better get him out. So I came down with a headlamp and Tania and a bit of lucerne hay. His Spells are coming for more. Hey? And attempted to get him out of that area there, and he gave me a good old bang with his head. He was not happy, and we did get him out and back in the paddock, but it was a close call. I've got a sore hip and shoulder and a sprained finger this morning from having a good old knock. So don't move a bull at night in the dark when he's happily sitting down chewing his cud. Isn't that right, Spelzer? Hmm? Yeah. So these guys are going to be moved today into B1. There's a little bit of feed, but they've had a good pick in the down on the creek area and they're looking quite large. So it's time to get a little bit of weight off them because I think they're a little bit too large. If you look at Symbol's always a fatty pumba. She's in really good condition. Plus she's, how many months pregnant are you? Probably about 7 months pregnant. Spring range, she's in really good condition. You look lovely, darling, don't you? Hey? And Spells has grown lots since we've put her in with the other cows. She's turning into a really nice little compact cow. She's got really nice conformation, but she's from a breed that grows a bit slower, as I've been told. And you want more brushing, don't you? Hey? Hard to video and brush at the same time, but I'm going to go and find my glasses, girls. You're going to follow me around, aren't you? Until you find something to eat. This is where Tex was sitting last night when I found him. And I got him up. I sat him up and he was happy to get a pat, but he wasn't very happy with the head torch that I had on, so I actually turned it around and started trying to lead him out gently, persuasively, and he thought differently and gave me a good old whack. And but we eventually got him out with the help of Tanya, and just looking to see where my glasses went, and here they are, here, beauty. This is where he hit me. I'll need them. But this is a nice area. He would have loved it up here in the 100 acres, and it's a pretty good fence line through here that Reese has put up to protect his trees that he's planted along the creek. So lesson learnt, we had to get him out of this gate here and then up the hill and up to our boundary gate. Just as well we've got a boundary gate down here, otherwise that would have been really difficult. So the next gate is in the cattle yards, but it's got a headpiece over the gate and I don't think he'd fit underneath it. So you can see the gate up there in the distance. So he actually, once he got out of the gate down the bottom there, he ran all the way up here and I had to yell at the Tanya to open up the gate because the cows, the spring rain tick, Symbol, Panda and Spells are on the other side of the gate, so we didn't want them coming back in, so it was a bit of a logistical effort on both of us to get him out through here. They've trimmed all the willow trees off at cow reach height.
The other thing that is not going to plan is 2024 was the year of the kitchen renovation. Has that happened? No, unfortunately. A few things have sort of just pulled us back a bit. We were hoping to get it sort of started September and for it to be in now, but we've had some issues. The cabinet maker has been a little bit tricky to get hold of. He was coming out to check measure and that took a few weeks, and when he eventually came out, we hadn't heard, we haven't got a quote. We've been in to have an appointment with them that he organised and he wasn't there. So we've had a few issues. So currently the kitchen is not even being made yet. But all our appliances are arriving today and we've got the windows because we're redoing the windows. I'll show you those. So part of our renovation in the house is the front door, which is here, is going to be here. and this is it here. So it's supposed to be in here. But currently, yeah, it's sitting there. And then we've got some other windows. We're getting a new kitchen window and 2 new bedroom windows for the spare bedroom and the main bedroom. We're getting windows, new windows and doors for them. And they are all sitting here. And hopefully we'll get to those soon, but we're sort of waiting on the kitchen. But we could possibly do some of these windows, but we need a little bit of extra manpower, which we'll hopefully get to, but that certainly has not gone to plan. Another thing that hasn't gone so well this week is Robert's hand.
I'll put a photo in, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. I did it on a drop saw through a piece of wood back at me and tore the flesh off the top of my hand. So another thing didn't go to plan that'll set me back now for a couple of weeks. But
10 stitches.
Yep.
So he's a one-arm farmer now.
Yep.
So yeah, that adds to this week things that haven't gone quite so well. But you're still in good spirits, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
And we'll keep soldiering on. So out of all the things that haven't quite gone to plan this week, our strawberries are exceeding my expectations. We are picking strawberries way earlier than we did last year, and we're getting some really nice size ones in. So that is a really nice positive note, and hopefully we'll get some blueberries, and the raspberries are starting to grow as well. So this garden down here actually looks quite good. It survived the frost, but it's strawberry time. So until next time, we'll see you back on the farm, and thanks for watching.